So our goal today is to get through 8.2 and then go ahead and let you begin some of those IXL assignments by practicing it. Okay? So if you look at your green 8.2 notes that I passed out to you today, you'll notice that the first page is a lot like the IXL assignments that we did yesterday, where we were testing to see if a solution, or if it is a solution. So like in example A, we have 7 minus h equals 5, and they're saying that h equals 2. Well, if I plug in 2 where the h is, does 7 minus 2 equal 5? Does 7 minus 2 equal 5?
Yes.
Yes. So is h equals 2 the solution? Is that true? Yes. Okay. Whereas in example B, we have 121 equals 10m, and they're saying m equals 11. If I plug in 11 where the m is, does 10 times 11 equal 121? No, it doesn't. So is it a solution? No, it's not a solution. Okay? Alright, so that's just what that first page was talking about. I want you to go ahead and turn the page and looking at the examples on the back. Okay, we are going to begin solving equations that have addition and subtraction problems. So we follow 3 steps, and I want you to write these 3 steps down on your notes, okay? Your first step is going to be to chop it. That's step 1. Step 2 is going to be to box it. And then step 3 is going to be do the opposite. We're going to chop it, box it, do the opposite, and try to make it where it rhymes for you. They've already written it out and worked it out for you, but I want you to actually write out the process. This is where you're going to grumble and complain at me, but this is the point where you're going to have to work it out and show your steps. It's 3 steps. It doesn't take long, but I need you to do it. And the reason I need you to do it is because I need you to do the practice. Okay? I am well aware that a lot of these are going to be easy and you can do them in your head. Okay? Y'all are intelligent children. I'm not saying you can't do these in your head. But it's important to do it while it's easy and learn the steps now, because next year in the 8th grade, it's going to get a lot harder. And if you don't learn the steps now, you're going to be completely lost next year. Okay? So I'm going to show you the steps, and I'm going to ask you to write the steps down each time, even when you're IXL assignments. Okay? So we have y minus 12 equals 6. Make sure you write that down to the side. There's plenty of room there. Y minus 12 equals 6. Our goal is to get y by itself and to solve for y. That's what our goal is, to solve for y. This is an equation. And what that means is both sides are equal to each other. It's like a scale or a balance. Okay? You know, like in science and stuff like that, how you have those little balances. Let's see if I can draw one. It looks something like this. You know what I'm talking about? And if I put stuff here, then it goes down. And then I have to put the same amount of stuff here for it to be balanced. Okay? That's a lot like an equation. Okay? And math likes things to stay balanced. Okay? So whatever happens to one side, we have to do to the other side to maintain the balance. Okay? So to help us understand where the 2 sides are, what we do is we chop the equal sign. That's your chop it. Now you divide it into 2 different sides. Then we're going to box it. We're going to box in the variable. We call this isolating the variable. Isolation means getting it all by itself. So you know, like at elementary school, how if you were in trouble at lunch, you had to go sit at the isolation table. away from everybody. We want the variable all by itself because that's what we're trying to solve. So that means we've got to move everything else on its side to the other side. And the way we do that is by doing the opposite. Right now, you're currently subtracting. What's the opposite of subtraction? Addition. So I'm going to add 12. And whatever I do to one side, I got to do to the other side. Now, these two are going to cancel out. And I'm going to prove it to you. If I have negative 12, because it was minus 12, right? That represents negative, plus 12, it's going to give me 0. It cancels it out. That's the whole goal, is trying to cancel that out, to get rid of it. That's why we're doing the opposite. So all that we have left is y. And y is going to equal whatever this is. So 6 plus 12 is 18. So y equals 18. And then you can check your work. You can plug in 18 where the y is. So it's 18 minus 12 equals 6. Yes. Then you know you did it correctly. That's why I like these, because I can always check to see if I'm right. Okay?
Okay, I get this when I get how to do it, but what's the time about it?
Because right now,
I
it's
understand
easy.
learning it, but depending on
Like the different steps and stuff, because at some point you're going to have more than one step you have to do, like more than just one variable and things like that, and having to add or subtract, and you're going to have to know all the steps. I'm just teaching a little part of the portion right now. 7th grade is going to teach you the second step, and in my 8th grade you're going to do these really big long problems. That's why. Okay, good question. All right. This one, we have W plus 6 equals 19. Like I said, I know in your head you already know the answer to this. But yes, we're going to do the extra steps so that we practice the extra steps. So your first step is going to be to chop it. Then you're going to box it. And then we're going to do the opposite. What's the opposite of addition? So we're going to subtract 6 on both sides. That cancels out. Because we want it to be balanced. Whatever we do one, we got to do to the other. So W is left on its own. What is 19 minus 6? 13.
I get it. I didn't.
So my answer is 13. Okay? I can check it. Does 13 plus 6 equal 19? Yes, then we did it correctly. Okay? This page down here, there's not enough work for you to chop, box, and all that. This is where your whiteboard comes in. Okay? So on your whiteboard, I want you to do number 10, and then we're going to check it. So we've got Z plus 4 equals 6. Z plus 4 equals 6. And you're going to follow those steps. Chop it, box it, do the opposite.
And I'm holding it.
Yeah. Good.
This is easy.
Yep. Yep. All right. So I chop it. I box it. What's the opposite? Subtraction. And Z equals 2. All right. Okay. The more we practice it, the more it'll make sense. Let's do number 11. X minus 5 equals 20.
I think this is like the easiest.
Alright, if you follow the 3 steps, it's pretty easy. Chop it, box it, do the opposite. What's our opposite going to be? Add. We're doing subtraction, so the opposite of subtraction is, that's the biggest thing that's going to trip you up, is you're going to forget to do the opposite. But y'all are smart, so you're not going to. That cancels out. X equals 25. And you can check it to make sense. Does 25 minus 5 equal 20? Yes. Okay?
Wait. Is this a negative?
Alright, so this is negative 5. Minus 5 means negative 5. So negative 5 plus 5 cancels out. Okay? Alright, number 12. We have D plus 12 equals 21. Chop it, box it, do the opposite. What's the opposite?
Minus 12.
Minus 12. So we have minus 12 on both sides. So 12 minus 12 is 0. So that cancels. So all I'm left with is D.
D equals 9.
And D equals 9. We want to check it to make sense. Does 9 plus 12 equal 21?
Yes.
Then we know we did it correctly. Okay? What if I have a fraction, like in number 13 right here? My answer is what? What if I have 2/3 equals 1/4 plus G? Do my steps stay the same? Yeah, it stays the same. Because a fraction is a number. It's just a number. And the beautiful thing is, your calculators do fractions for you, so you just treat it like a number. Okay?
Alright, so what are you doing with someone else?
You still have calculators.
We have these on the house.
Yes. That's why I'm telling you want to buy one of these calculators so that you can have it. Okay?
We don't have our own, it's not right.
Oh,
When do you buy these?
I have one, but it doesn't get fresh.
We'll talk about it after the Okay? Alright, so we want to chop it still. We're still going to box it. And we're still going to do the opposite. What operation is happening right now? Addition. So we want to do the opposite, which is subtraction. Minus 1/4.
Oh, I didn't know to put right there.
You're trying to get the variable by itself. So you move the number that is next to the variable. Because if we had moved 2/3 over, there'd been nothing on that side, and it wouldn't have been good for us. So 2/3 minus 1/4 gives me 5/12, and 5/12 equals G. Okay? Alright, so we're going to get some practice in chopping, boxing, and doing the opposite. Okay? So instead of making you do the worksheet, I'm going to let you do these instead. Okay? So you got AA8, and if you finish that with a 100, which you should, then you're going to do AA11. 11 has decimals and fractions. Still works the same way, but it's the same process, okay? You have to write out each one of them. Do not do these in your head.
So can we do them on whiteboard?
You can do them on your whiteboard, okay? Where's my little phone?